obviously a horrible person, and I agree, those are oppressive cultures. But age-wise, though, I can't make any kind of argument to defend that. And there may be cultures where, and in fact, in my own family, going back 100 years, there some women were married when they were 14 or 15 years old.
Yeah, it was very common back then.
Yeah, of course, people made a judgment. Some girls, when they're 14, look like they're fully grown, and others look like they're 10. That's
the nature of kiddie porn, is that the children look like children.
Yeah, that's the unhealthy part of it. It's not the age level. It's the fact that they're underdeveloped, and that's what I think is an aberration in the. And a lot of people say, okay, if you say that, though, are you saying that gays are aberrations just because they can't produce and they're attracted? And I say, no, not a affair of an age of consent. It might be, the technical term of an aberration is, it's not common, or, it's not, but, I'm an aberration if I believe in, if the Austrian economics. Most people don't. So, doesn't mean I'm a kinko. Just means I'm, in the minority. But
certainly in a Mendelian sense, in a genetic sense, gay people would have to be aberrations because they don't reproduce.
Yeah, but
they're still naturally occurring, and if they're naturally occurring, let them be gay.
Yeah. There's a lot of factors to consider, but there's also there's different mindsets. I mean, sex to some people is recreation, as it was to Greeks and Romans, who were this way openly committing homosexual acts, but were not necessarily. But they had wives and children, and it was not necessarily a scandal. It just depends on the culture you're in. A sexual act by itself doesn't really mean much, but it, in the cultural context, is where it adds meaning. And but consent has always been an important principle of law, going, as far back as law has ever been written. And you probably know better than me that just some of the more fundamental principles of law. One of them is, consent and intent. And the age of consent is I think, a very fundamental principle across most legal systems, including, Islamic and others that we don't know a whole lot about. But most legal systems recognize that, and children are just not able to make those kind of judgments. Even if they can say, I want something, or I agreed to it. But children can be coerced and manipulated in a certain way. They can be made to feel like, like there's no other way. How there's many examples of children have been kidnapped, and they don't even have to be tied up. They just are convinced that if they don't follow along. This is what happened to this girl just about a couple of weeks ago, who drove to LA on an errand. And this homeless guy kidnapped her in the car, basically carjacked the car, and made her go try to get money out of the ATM. She was able to call. She called both her parents to try to figure out how to get money out of the card, because he told her he would kill her. I imagine if she just didn't call and give him money. And she figured all he was after was the money. And I don't know what happened after that, but he killed her by beating her to death. So the thing is, she was a 16 or 17-year-old, and she was easily manipulated by somebody convincing her that this is the way it is, and it's no other way, and you shouldn't. And her decision making was obviously. She could have gotten away. She could have ran screaming. She could have called 911. A lot of things she could have done, but when you're scared, you You just don't. When you're a kid, you get scared and you just do whatever you think will work. And the guy obviously manipulated her.
Yes, he did.
To thinking that, not turn him in. So, I don't know. It's just a long way of saying that consent is still an important part, and it's still an important part of the libertarian principles. And I just wanted to spend time on it because a lot of people think libertarians are, do whatever, anytime you want, no rules apply, and it's just not true. And most libertarians are very strong on consent laws and protection of children.
As am I.
Yeah. Okay, Greg. I've beat a lot of these things to death, and I've taken you over time as usual. I apologize for that. But let's. If you got, do you have any more comments on any of the things we've brought up so far? And if so, let me know because I want to make sure that we didn't miss anything. I tend to ramble a little bit.
Well, don't look at kitty porn. You shouldn't have that screen open to begin with for your cat to be able to walk across the keys.
Yes. What have we learned today? If you're surfing kitty porn...
No, don't surf kitty porn, period.
Yeah, right, because then, as soon as your cat walks across the download key, or whatever the enter key, if your cursor happens to be over the download button... then it'll be on your machine, the feds will raid you, and you'll be thrown in jail. So don't even put yourself in that position by going onto a kitty porn site. Let it be known from the libertarians, at least these two, that even looking at kitty porn for a joke is not a good idea. In fact, when I've accidentally popped on the internet, I like normal adult porn like anybody else. I like to look at a couple pictures, but as soon as I come across something that's a little too weird, I know better because I know that somebody's probably looking at this and looking for true sex offenders. I mean, even like...
Don't want to be put on a list.
No way. I mean, even stuff that's like... there's, the Japanese actually are into like simulated rape videos and stuff. Yes. And I even think those are wrong to go to because... that's starting to cross over into real rape and maybe real rape videos where someone, was grabbed and raped for real. How would you know if they're really good actors? You wouldn't know the difference. So anything appears on the screen like that, I don't even I get it right off immediately. It's like because that those people are that's getting toward criminal activity in a hurry. So
that's correct.
Anyway, yes, word...
When you're surfing porn.
That's right. Word to the horny out there, and, from Greg and Joey, keep it clean. Keep your porn clean. Okay, man. Again, taking you over. Thanks for the extra time tonight, Greg, and you have an excellent weekend. And let's again, I'm gonna try to get up your way within... before the weather turns. I really want to get up that way because we're talking about going to see Mammoth and some other places up north and doing a little wine cruising. So I'll let you know when we're coming up that way, and we'll rendezvous for some misbehavior. We'd love to do that.
That sounds great, Joey.
Okay. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, Joey. Good night.
Thanks. Great. Bye.